Hi all, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to share a horrific story with you out of Festus, Missouri, where police say a 36-year-old mother walked into the police station there on the morning of May 28th of 2024 and informed the officer at the desk that she had just killed her two children, and her daughter was outside in her car in the parking lot. During a press conference giving the details of what happened that horrific morning, police say officers ran out to Ashley Parmalay's car and found her precious 9-year-old daughter Scarlett in the trunk. They performed life-saving measures but were unable to save her and said she passed away from a gunshot wound inflicted on her by her own mother. A second set of emergency personnel also responded to a resort close to Festus, where they found Parmalay's 2-year-old son Isaac drowned in a fountain in the front of the resort. Police at the station said Parmalay was wet when she arrived there that morning, and she told them she shot her daughter and drowned her son. She was arrested, and news reports say she's been charged with second-degree murder for her precious baby Isaac and first-degree murder for her precious daughter Scarlett. Police say she offered no motive for their killings, and they found a third child belonging to Parmalay, who was not with her during the murders and is alive and unharmed.
Investigators say this woman, Ashley Parmalee, went to the Festus Police Department today to admit to that crime. Tonight, this case, of course, sending shockwaves all throughout the bi-state. In fact, a robust investigation is underway in multiple counties tonight.
In the last hour, the 36-year-old Peebly woman has been charged with murder. Right now, she is being held without bond at the Jefferson County Jail.
And Jefferson County deputies do say Parmalee confessed to shooting and killing her 9-year-old daughter and drowning her 2-year-old son.
Tonight, the father of the 9-year-old girl killed, posting to Facebook, reading in part, "Scarlett is no longer with us. She loved everybody she ever met and loved everything in the world. She had no hate in her heart. I'm not sure what words to say."
I'm not sure as a parent you're supposed to have words in that situation. That's a statement no parent is ever prepared to write. Our Justin Andrews following this for us all day today. And Justin, there are certainly still a lot of questions about this case.
Yes, Sam, I got to be honest with you. All of our hearts should be shattered by this. Why would a mom do this? That's the question so many people are asking, especially after this 36-year-old Ashley Parmalee walked inside of the Festus Police Department this morning and admitted to killing her two children. This case even disturbing investigators.
I spoke with one of the officers guarding the crime scene out here earlier, and he said, "Sheriff, this was a tough one."
A tough one for investigators and the Festus community.
Around here, you just don't hear of that. It's terrible.
Judy Nesbitt lives across the street from Festus Police. The parking lot, now a crime scene after the Jefferson County Sheriff says a 36-year-old mother walked right into the police station Tuesday morning at 10:30 and admitted to killing two of her children. The body of her 9-year-old daughter outside of PD in her car.
We now have evidence located in St. Francis County.
That evidence leads investigators to believe it's possible the mom shot and killed her 9-year-old daughter in St. Francis County before drowning her 2-year-old son at the Timber Creek Resort off Highway 67.
They haven't even started life, really.
The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says it's still unclear the timeline of this case, but says the kids were alive this morning. Sheriff Dave Marshak says the mom has several unknown addresses throughout Festus. First Alert 4 uncovered one address here. Nobody was home.
It makes you wonder what everybody's thinking. It's a scary thought the way things are going nowadays.
Right now, there's no motive, and detectives are working to piece this lengthy investigation together. The news is clamping the minds of first responders and the whole community.
So many people in our community will be impacted by this. I would ask for additional prayers tonight.
Absolutely. Prayers are indeed needed. Now, I did reach out to the dad of 9-year-old Scarlett. He is understandably just shaking and reeling over this. He did tell me that he wants his daughter's memory to be as big as her heart. As for that mom, she is sitting in the Jefferson County Jail, and her charges include, like we mentioned earlier, she's facing that second-degree murder charge. We do know there is some type of prayer vigil tomorrow in Crystal City. We're live in Festus tonight. I'm Justin Andrews, First Alert 4.
Just a heartbreaking case. Justin, thank you. And throughout the day, First Alert 4 Investigates has been looking into the mother, now identified as Ashley Parmalee. We have been going through public records, learning more information about the family, and we know Parmalee made a lot of public Facebook posts. Late last night, she changed her profile picture to this, a black circle. We also saw a social media post of photos with her kids and a post about gun rights saying they should not be infringed. This is a developing story that we will continue to follow. We are also hearing from the Festus School District. We have that statement online. You can also follow the latest on air, online, and on the First Alert 4 News app. And really important, just a reminder for anyone, if you or someone you know is in a crisis and needs help, you can call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988 any time of the day to talk to someone who can help.
A growing memorial in Festus for two children investigators say died at the hands of their mother. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson. Mike and Ann have the night off. Just hours ago, new charges were announced against Ashley Parmalee in St. Francis County for the death of her 9-year-old daughter, Scarlett. We have two reports tonight. Let's begin our coverage with Megan Kernan in Festus, where people have been stopping by the police station all day trying to make sense of this tragedy.
Kelly, that's right. People have been, the vigil here, the memorial has been growing throughout the entire day as people from the community continue to stop by to pay their respects. One mom told me that she has children the ages of 9-year-old Scarlett and 2-year-old Isaac and can't imagine what these families must be going through. Another woman told me that she was Scarlett's gymnastics coach. Just 2 hours ago, the St. Francis County prosecutor charged Ashley Parmalee with first-degree murder for the death of Scarlett. Investigators say that Ashley was driving in an area in St. Francis County when she pulled off to the road near Laker Pond and shot her daughter. Scarlett was found in the trunk of Parmalee's car outside of the Festus police station. Yesterday, the Jefferson County prosecutor charged the mother with second-degree murder and the death of Isaac. There's a memorial set up for the 2-year-old outside of the Timber Creek Resort. Police say she drowned him at the resort after shooting Scarlett. Scarlett's dad, Jason Doherty, shared these photos with us of his daughter and her brother. Earlier today, the Festus R6 school district confirmed that Scarlett had just finished the 3rd grade at Festus Elementary School. Now, we spoke with one woman who lives right across the street from the police station and says, as someone with children, she can't wrap her head around what happened.
I just couldn't believe what I was hearing, how a woman can take her children's life. I cried, I really did. It bothered me. I have great-grandchildren and grandchildren. It was very hard. I couldn't believe it.
Now, Ashley Parmalee is being held at Jefferson County Jail without bond. In just an hour, there will be a prayer vigil at the Twin City Little League in Crystal City at 7 o'clock for both of the children. Right now, there are at least 2 GoFundMes in place to help pay for the victims' funerals, and you can find both of those links at ksdk.com in the As Seen on TV section. Live in Festus, Megan Kernan, 5 on your side.
Now, there may be some additional interesting information connected to this case, but I say maybe because I have no solid proof other than it's being circulated online with this horrific case. But this news article has been brought up in relation to Ashley Parmalee's family history that discusses a man, also with the last name Parmalee, from DeSoto, Missouri, who pled guilty to bludgeoning his parents to death in 1999. It's being suggested by posters that he's Ashley's uncle, since Parmalee is allegedly Ashley's maiden name. But, like I said, I have no proof that he's Ashley's relative. I'm just sharing it because it's out there, and it's very interesting and terrifying if it's true. Scarlett just graduated from the 3rd grade, and her teacher shared a little bit about her in a Facebook post, saying, quote, "Today, my teacher heart is broken. I'm mourning the tragic loss of one of my sweet girls. Scarlett was a kind, bubbly, caring, and spunky little girl. She was always the first to join me in classroom karaoke. We had the best time laughing, singing, and dancing around the room. She loved telling and writing stories. She loved playing softball and talking about her little brother. She could carry on a conversation with just about anyone. At the end of the year, the award I chose for her was the Squirrel Award, because of her ability to gather people up who needed a friend and make them feel included. It sounds like this world just lost a beautiful spirit. Two beautiful spirits who may have made this world a much better place. But now, the world will go without, all because the thing blessed with the opportunity to love them and take care of them decided to remove them from this earth instead. And they can call it mental illness if they want. You can call it mental illness if you want. Whatever. But she had the presence of mind to know what she did, and to go to the police to report what she did. After she did it. When she could have taken her two children still alive to that very same police station, or any number of other safe places or people, and flat out said, I need someone to take these kids now, or I'm going to harm them. And she could have walked away. After all, she had no problem telling police she had already harmed them. So, why not do it before? I'm sure as the investigation unfolds, police are going to uncover more disturbing information about why Ashley wanted her babies dead. But no matter what they find, if you ask me, she's just pure evil. Here's the police press conference, outlining what they uncovered happened that tragic morning. I'll be praying for Scarlett and Isaac's loved ones, that they find the strength to get through this horrible time. And I thank you all so very much for listening to their story.
To recap why we're here today at the Festus Police Department, around 10:30 this morning, a 36-year-old female entered the Festus Police Department and reported that she had shot one of her children and drowned another. Officers understood the shooting victim was outside in the suspect's vehicle. Nearly at the same time, it was learned that the other child was located in Jefferson County's venue. Festus police immediately went to the parking lot, identified and located a 9-year-old female victim with a gunshot wound, and attempted life-saving measures, but were unable to successfully save the 9-year-old. Sheriff's deputies responded to Timber Creek Resort in unincorporated Festus and located a 2-year-old male in the fountain area near the entrance. Officers jumped in the water, recovered the body, and attempted life-saving measures as well. They were also unsuccessful in saving the life of the child. The female suspect is in our custody at the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office jail. We now have evidence located in St. Francis County in which it is quite possible the victim of the shooting was shot in St. Francis County, so crime scene and detectives are on their way there. We've been in touch with St. Francis County as well to work a cooperative investigation. Right now, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office is handling the investigation through multiple jurisdictions with our law enforcement partners. And as I shared before, so many people in our community will be impacted by this. I would ask for additional prayers tonight for our first responder community, from dispatchers to our EMS professionals, the law enforcement officers that under these adverse conditions attempted to save the life of 2 small children. I've been in touch with our prosecuting attorney moments ago. They will work throughout the evening along with our investigators because we still have much more work to do. But I assure everybody in the community that our law enforcement partners through the prosecuting attorney's office is up to speed and willing to do whatever it takes to get justice. We're making death notifications as we speak, so I'm not prepared to give names at this time. But I did share with you the suspect is a 36-year-old female. The deceased from the gunshot wounds is a 9-year-old female, and the victim of a drowning was a 2-year-old male. I'm prepared to answer some questions, but I want you to understand as well, this is an ongoing active investigation. We will continue to learn new information throughout the entire evening, and we will continuously update you as well when we have information that we can share. I'll take some questions.
Do you have a residence for the woman? Or?
There are strong ties to the Festus community, and believe that she is familiar with the area and has other family members within the Festus community.
So does she currently live in the area, or?
Well, we have multiple addresses associated with the suspect, but I feel comfortable sharing that she is a part of the Festus community.
I understand the little boy drowned in the fountain. Is that a restricted access, like that's not a pool or a splash pad situation?
Yeah, the entrance to Timber Creek Resort has multiple bodies of water, and there are guard shacks there, but I don't know if that was manned at the time. And so, again, these are part of the investigative process, and we'll continue to learn more and share more as we get it.
Can you help explain the order of how things happened? If you believe the child that was shot in St. Francis County, was the child then shot first, the drowning victim was killed second, and then the body of the shooting victim was brought here?
We continue to work on the timeline to make sure we are providing accurate information, but what I can tell you, based on the information that we have right now, is we believe the 9-year-old female victim was shot in St. Francis County earlier, prior to the drowning, and then, but that is unconfirmed, and then arrived here around 10:30 this morning.
Can you elaborate on where in St. Francis County?
Off Highway E. Investigators are there right now, but I don't have an address for you.
Was it a home or outside where the little girl was shot?
Yeah, so it's speculation at this point. I want to confirm the fact that we are there conducting an investigation. Our crime scene unit is there. There is the likelihood that everything occurred there, which is why I wanted to share it with you. But we have a long way to go in terms of the investigation before we release some finality of a strong timeline.
Were they staying at the resort?
Look, at this time, that's part of the investigation. We don't have records at this time, confirming that they were a resident there or were staying there on the property.
Were there any other injuries to the 2-year-old drowning victim that pond at the resort?
Well, look, the investigation continues, and as I shared before, examination of the body will be done by the medical examiner's office, and so additional evidence that may be recovered from either of the deceased is forthcoming.
Talk about the work of the deputies. I mean, when you think about it, you all heard about that drowning, went there, those deputies swam to this body. So talk about the mental with this. I know you all handle so many cases, but this has got to be difficult for you all, right?
Well, look, I spoke with the Festus police chief earlier. His officers did an outstanding job locating, 9-year-old female victim shot in the back of that vehicle, immediately removed her and started life-saving measures despite the obvious injuries and adverse conditions. I mean, it can't go unnoticed. These officers are doing the work of this community and serving. And we take their well-being very seriously. The sheriff's office immediately dispatched our mental health and crisis response team, along with chaplains, to both support those officers and all the other first responders that were negatively impacted by this, and will continue for some time. I spoke with one of the officers guarding the crime scene out here earlier, and he said, "Sheriff, this was a tough one." And so I would ask you to say an extra prayer for them.
Through the investigation so far, have you learned why she might have done something like this yet?
No, it's too early to speculate on motive. And the officers continued to interview her into the afternoon. And again, I know that we will discover a lot of information once search warrants are completed. And again, this is very preliminary. But again, we feel comfortable in sharing that right now we don't believe there's any other victims in the community, and that's important. Jefferson County continues to be a safe place despite this horrible tragedy.
Even if you can't say the motive, can you say whether or not she provided a motive when she came in?
I can't offer anything as to that.
Sheriff, when she came in and she said she killed her children, did the officer tell you what was her demeanor? I mean, was this matter of fact? Was there any emotion with this?
And so I hadn't personally interviewed the officers. I will tell you that when she came in, she was a little disheveled and her clothes were wet. And I don't know whether that was from the original incident, crime scene, or if that was subsequently, as part of the drowning. But obviously the officers had a lot of things going on. and they were accommodating several different parts to notify the sheriff's office of our potential victim. And then also you had a number of officers in the parking lot that were actively providing CPR and first aid measures to try and save the life of that child. So.
Can you just talk about the overall loss of these two young children? I mean, Mother's Day was just about 2 weeks ago. You can just speak on that aspect of it.
Well, look, I'll tell you, I know it's impacting this community. I walked into business earlier and everybody was talking about it. It says, you know, it's disruptive and it's unsettling for our community and such a tragedy.
Did this mom have any other children? Was it just these two?
Early on in the investigation, we were concerned about other family members. And at one point during our earlier briefing, we talked about the potential for being a third victim out there. We have since located that family member, discovered they're actually a child of the suspect, but the suspect had custody of the child at one point. We have confirmed their well-being, and they continue to cooperate with law enforcement.
Sheriff, is this someone that you guys have been in contact with multiple times before or been called out for child abuse or something like that previously?
I'm not familiar or aware of any law enforcement contacts that have occurred in the past. Certainly that'll be part of the investigation when we look back and try to put together a timeline.
Do you know, for the sake of the timeline, how long it was between when the child was first shot in St. Francis County and when the mother arrived here at 10:30?
I don't, but I will tell you that the investigators have discovered that last night they were well and accounted for last night. And we have information based on the data that we've retrieved so far that they were alive first thing this morning.
Do you know where they were last night this morning?
I'm not at liberty to share that right now, but we continue to investigate all those. Again, I'm sorry that we're here on such a somber situation, such a tragedy for our community. Pray for the family, and I'd ask that you say a special prayer for our first responders. What a tough day for them.